Hi, welcome to the channel. So in today's video, we'll be doing some web scraping with Python. The idea is to scrape the Silo website. And in this process, I'll be showing you how you can use the interactive debugger in VS Code. It's also possible to use it in Python notebooks, and that's why I really like it a lot compared to other options. So, okay, let's get started. So here I'm going to just pass in a location, so Texas. So we do a search and we get these 150,000 results. So the idea today would be to see how we can get the information that allows creating this website. So one way to get started doing it is clicking the inspector here, and we get this tab here. So in this case, we want to look at the network tab, because this is where we get information of the data that's being sent or queried to the backend. So if I click XHR here, it shows me only the cases where data is getting it's getting retrieved from the server. So I can clean up everything here or just refresh the website, and we can see what we get here. So a lot of things get downloaded. I'm going to click XHR again. We need to find which of these are the ones that are sending the data, right, from the backend. And I mean, this looks like a very good candidate, get search page.htm. I mean, you basically have to look at them and see what you get in the response. So if I click here, we can see the headers. So this is what we're sending to the server. And it seems to be a GET request and has a bunch of headers, cookies, and etc. And if we want to take a look at what we get as a response from the server, we can look at the response tab. And basically here we get the information that allows creating the website. So it has all the content of these posts. So if we go to this cat1, I want to open this up a little bit. We get these search results, search list, and I mean, this doesn't seem to be what we need. Total results, so some metadata, map results. Okay, so this has the information of each listing. So we can see that we have some sort of ID, the price label, number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, latitude, longitude, for sale, etc., etc. So we have some images, and I assume we should have some more information. So HTTP data, so it has the complete address, the price, but now in numbers, so without strings. And I mean, we have a lot of information. So what I like to do now is go back to Python and see how we can get this data and how we can process it in Python. So there's a really neat trick here that if you go to headers, and so here we want to get this response information. So I can do right click on the get search page, then copy it as curl, and then I can paste this into Insomnia. So this is a tool that you need to download. And now that I'm in Insomnia, I'm just literally copy pasting this command to get the data. I send the request and I get the same JSON that we were looking at in the browser. So this seems to have some metadata, but then the listings information starts appearing. So what I'll like to do now is go back to Python and do this query ourselves. So there's a really nice trick here in Insomnia. So you can go to this arrow here, go to generate client code, and then just copy this to clipboard. So now I can go back to VS Code and just do the same, send the same request that we just tried doing here. So let's do that. Okay, so now I'm in VS Code. I created a file called silo.py. So I'm just pasting this code, and okay, it just imports requests. we have the URL that we were trying to get information from. And here we have a bunch of query strings. So we have some parameters that we're querying the database. And okay, there are a few errors here, so we need to fix that. So I'm going to add a single quote here and at the end of this. So what else do we need to fix? So the user agent is fine. And I mean, I'm just going to comment this out because I don't know if this is needed. Probably the cookie we need it. Okay. So, okay, this looks relatively fine. So I'm just going to run this. Let's see if it runs. Okay, it seems that we're getting some data from the server. So here comes the debugging part that I think it's very interesting. So what I'd like to do now is to, instead of running the script many times, I just want to run it with this data, right? So one way to do this is, so I'm just going to do from ipdb dot import set trace. So set trace will allow me to stop at this point, and I'll be able to run this more interactively. So I can go here, just set trace parentheses, and yeah, maybe we'll just go here and just call these content. And so what will happen is we'll get the response, we'll create this content variable, and then we'll be sent to a prompt where I can test the code more interactively. So just going to run the script again. So here we are. So now we have run this line and we are stopped after that. So I can just print this and it doesn't give me a lot of information. So content dot, let's say the keys. Let's print the keys. Okay, it doesn't have keys. So I guess we would need to import JSON and parse it, right? And the way to do this is data equals JSON loads content. And so now I can just copy this, paste it below. Okay, import JSON. And now we have it as a dict. So if I print this, so this is a dict. And you can see that this way of coding the script, it's useful in some cases. So you could write a little bit more of the code, but now I could do data.keys and get a better idea of what's in this dict. So if I go back to the browser here in the response, so we can see that this is very similar to what we got here. So we have the user, the map state, region state, and then we have this cat object. So this is where all the information is. So okay, so what we would like here is, okay, we'll first select this cat1, right? So cat1 is data cat1. So maybe we can call this a little bit more with something more meaningful than cat1. Okay, so search list. Okay, not this. Search results, map results. So this is what we actually care about, right? Okay, I'm just going to call it like this, cat1, and cat1 should have these map results. Or not, cat1 keys. Okay, so we have these search results, search list. So we actually want the search results. So I'm just going to copy this. But you can see that I can keep writing the code, but I can also test it below. So very useful, this ipdb method. So now what I want is this map results. So okay, let's see map results. So I'm just going to assign it here. Okay, so I'm going to continue with the script. So here I have everything set up. So I'm just going to run it. And we should stop after these map results. So this is where I place set trace that will allow the Python interpreter to stop. So I'm going to print this. So, okay, we can't see much from what we're printing now, but bear with me and we'll make some sense of this. So the first thing we can do is see if we can print the key. So, okay, it tells us this is a list. So, okay, let's print the length of it. Okay, so there are 500 elements. So this looks like the list of elements that we want to get, right? So this seems to be the information of the property. So just going to copy this to the script here. And okay, let's see if we can get a better idea of the data that we want. So, okay, here we have the geolocation. So that seems like an important data we want to keep. So here we have this home info, and this has a bunch of information of the property. So seems like it has everything. Okay, so this is probably where we want to get most of our data. So, okay, here it's finishes. Here's the URL. And this is useful because maybe later on you want to scrape each individual property, and okay, you can just do it directly. So, okay, time on silo. Okay, who knows what that is? But basically what we need to do now is iterate through this map results list and get the data we want from these elements. So I'm going to do the following. So for listing in map results, and I'm going to create a dict with some sort of item. And here I'll be putting the information that I want to keep. So, okay, so let's start with the price. So, so here's the price, but it has some strings. So ideally, I think I saw somewhere that it had like, yeah, here it is. It only has the numbers. So we can do price and listing price. Okay, so let's continue. So, okay, actually, so this is incorrect because in order to get to the price, I need to go through these two levels. So first I'm going to get this HTTP object. So listing, and then we go down one more. So home info, right? Home info. HTTP. Okay, so now I can go here, change this. Okay, what else do I need to get here? So now I want to get the latitude. Oops, there we go. Just put it here, then longitude, and put it here. Okay, home status, home type. I mean, this could be interesting, I guess. So for sale, we already know they are for sale, but maybe good to add it also. And then is featured should highlight send estimate. So this is probably the estimate of the website. Maybe this is interesting. Maybe we can keep it. Okay, so all we're doing now is getting data from this home info dict, so we can get anything that's inside here, right? So rent estimate. So okay, maybe we can get that also. Seems like an interesting data point. So okay, I think this is enough. for now. So I would also like to have this the URL. So I can just go here, and so this is not in home info, so it's in listings. And what else? This feature, okay, and the address, I guess, would be useful. So, okay, so now we got ourselves a nice amount of data. So the idea would be to, while we loop through this, we append it to some list results. And let's see if this works. Okay, so now I can remove this thing that I copied here, and just going to try this. So I'm saving the script, and I'm going to quit here and run the script again. So okay, so it didn't find this sense estimate. Okay, so let's see if we can set trace here. Okay, so we will stop at this point now where we will have already one listing. So it's the first one, right? So, okay, let's see why we're not getting that information. So home info, and so this is the one that failed, right? So, okay, so it's here. So what I can do is use get, and if it's empty, we just put empty, right? So this is another way to get information from a dict, and you pass it a default value if it's not if there's nothing in it. So let's see if this runs. Okay, it seems that in this case it runs. So okay, I'm going to quit and try to run it again. I'm just passing this here to put it at the outside of the loop. So okay, we're getting a key error here, and it's possible that this element this key is not available in one of the listings. So I can add a try here, try except. Try except the error. And maybe continue. Okay, maybe I'm going to just keep this simple. Yeah, so this goes here. Okay, I quit the debugger and run the script again. Okay, so now we're getting at the end. Okay, so now this has almost 500 results, which is what we expected. So let me break down this code that I just wrote here. So we're looping through the listings. So we try to get this element HDP HDP data from the listing, and in the cases that it doesn't find it, there's a key error. We just continue with the loop, so it goes back to looping through. So we basically ignore that listing. And at the end of the loop, if this works fine, this try except, then we continue with this, just creating this dict and appending it to results. So one thing we can do now is create a data frame, pd data frame, and just pass result here. So I can paste this here and just test it. So okay, so it looks like it's correct. So doing a head of one and transposing it is a nice way of checking one observation But yeah, it seems that we have everything we wanted here. Okay, so yeah, I can remove this set trace now because yeah, we don't need it anymore. But you can see how useful it is because it helps us debug a script interactively. So yeah, the idea now would be to clean up this code and refactor it a little bit. So I just want to save this to a CSV file. So we can just save it like that. Index equals false. So now if I run the script, it will just save the file to disk. So okay, so now one thing that I wanted to show you is that how can you grab this code and ask ChatGPT to refactor it for you or give you some ideas to refactor it. So that's what I will show you now. Okay, so here I'm in GPT, so I'm going to just paste the code that we wrote. The only thing that I want to do is remove these cookies because they have a lot of text that doesn't add anything, and it will just make the GPT slower. But basically the idea is we just paste everything here and we ask it this refactor this Python script to make it more modular. Try using functions to encapsulate the logic of each action. And okay, what else? Make the code more Pythonic. I think this is fine. So one more trick that I think is important is to add this this thing at the start because that shows that this is markdown. So this is code, so it's easier to separate between text. And one thing that I also do a lot is add like a script name, scrape stilo. So okay, we just paste everything here, and I really didn't have to do a lot of work. Just came up with this right now. Okay, so it's doing a function to get the data, which makes sense. Extract listings, nice. So I mean, it didn't change much the code there, and it added a function to save the CSV file. So I had actually run this before and it did something relatively similar. So yeah, this is, I think, great. It also explains what each function is doing. So I can go back now and just copy this to a script and run it, basically. Okay, so I just copied the code from GPT and I'm pasting it on a new script called Silo2. The only thing that I need to change is the headers part that I removed. So I'm going to copy that from the other script. So just coming here, pasting this thing, indenting it correctly. So now we have this first function, which seems to be correct. So this seems to be a function that basically does the request and converts it to a JSON. So then we have the other function, extract listings data, and this receives the dict and does the same for loop that we did before. So here it returns a list with items. And then we save this to a CSV. I mean, it's nice because it splitted the logic of each of the actions that we were doing. So I'm just going to try and see if this works. Okay, and it seems that it ran okay. I mean, I can check this, just do the set trace here and check it at the end. See if this is the same data frame that we had before. Okay, so df shape. Okay, looks like the same thing. Yeah, that looks like correct. So then, of course, there is some data cleansing needed for this data. But I mean, overall, it wasn't very difficult to get the data because we're getting it directly from their backend. It's as if we were calling an API. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you very much.